Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shasheena Rolle. As always, it's so great to have you with us. The Grand Lucayan Resort is hosting a major group in the technology business this week. The visit by the group out of Europe is expected to pump some $1.5 million in Grand Bahama's ailing economy. Sabrina Brown reports.
H3G is the largest communications company in the world, owned by the Hutchison-Whampoa conglomerate. Over 1,000 of the company's top operators arrived on the island on Sunday for a 4-day conference. Joining Hutchison executives to welcome the group were the Minister for Grand Bahama and Ministry of Tourism officials. The group is occupying some 950 rooms at the Grand Lucayan Resort, pushing the hotel's occupancy rate to over 100%. General Manager Ben Davis.
They are a mobile company, very similar to T-Mobile or Vodafone. They operate in all parts of Italy as part of Hutchison Telecommunications Worldwide that operate in over 14 countries around the globe. This is just one segment of their brand from Europe.
The ballroom at the Grand Lucayan has been transformed into a state-of-the-art meeting center with 3D projector screens. Davis talks about the purpose of the high-tech conclave.
It's a promotion for all the suppliers, letting them know what the group are planning for the next 12 months and any new programs that they are sort of planning to promote in Italy.
Davis says the visit by H3G was organized within 6 weeks under the leadership of Managing Director Dr. John Meredith.
So it came through our Hong Kong head office. As you know, Dr. Meredith is instrumental in doing anything he can do to promote the Bahamas, and this is one of the areas where he certainly assisted us with his fellow colleagues who are responsible for the telecommunications group in Hong Kong.
This group business is a major injection to the island's sluggish economy, providing much-needed employment opportunities.
We have an extra 260 staff helping out. It gives employment to everybody. They all are working extremely hard. They're doing a grand job. People are taking on more responsibility, which is great. And it certainly does, a huge, it places a great emphasis on, taxes and income for the island, which we so desperately need. They've had expertise from the island to assist them. We have spent money in getting generators, renting generators from different companies on the island. So I think everybody's sort of benefited in some type of way from the exposure.
The Grand Lucayan will also provide flight catering for the group's departure on Thursday. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
As the future of Grand Bahama's gaming industry hangs in the balance, this vital sector is experiencing history in the making on another island in the country as a result of a multi-million-dollar investment. Joan Davis Rolle reports.
As the government continues negotiations for the new operators of the Treasure Bay Casino here on Grand Bahama, the gaming industry on another northern island is about to take off. According to Bimini Casino executive Dana Leibovich, May of this year has been earmarked for the completion of Bimini's first ever casino.
We've actually just really turned on the casino construction. We had a few delays in the beginning, nothing major, but now we're really moving forward very quickly. And to be honest, in the next few months we expect to be open. We're shooting for a May opening. If you would have seen the construction a month ago, you'd have been surprised how little or how much had to be done, but you see it now and you can see how much has been done. And we're really moving along well.
Leibovich is confident that the lure of a multi-million-dollar casino, coupled with first-class amenities at the Bimini Bay Resort, augurs well for Bimini's economy and the island's new upscale tourism mix.
Casinos pretty much all over the world have been quite a large draw for tourism, and we expect that to be the same here. And we're counting on tourism coming from South Florida, from South America, from other countries here in the Caribbean. So we have no doubt that it's going to draw a lot of tourism in and then do very well for Bimini itself.
What type of investment is this for you?
This is a $24 million investment, so it's quite substantial. And we have no doubt that it'll pay dividends for us and in Bimini.
Described as a game changer once operational, the casino executive promises a superior gaming experience.
This is a boutique casino. It's 10,000 square foot. It's 139 slot machines, 15 table games, and I think it's a perfect fit for this island.
Job opportunities for Bahamians, what can we expect?
We're looking at a minimum of 130 positions for Bahamians, and if business dictates, that'll go up.
Joan Davis Rolle, ZNS Network News.
Thank you, Joan. Well, still with news from Bimini, police making a significant discovery on that island. Reports say around 2 o'clock Monday morning, police along with Defense Force officers acting on information received while in the Spook Hill Porky Bay area discovered and confiscated a white Go Fast boat with 10 bales of suspected marijuana. No one was arrested and police are currently investigating this matter. Meantime, the Minister for Grand Bahama telling members of the media that work is underway to remove mold from the Harold de Gregory Government Complex. The building houses several government agencies, including the Ministry for Grand Bahama and ZNS. Natalie Martinborough has more.
Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. Michael Darville, confirming that mold was found in the Harold de Gregory complex. Dr. Darville says when the Ministry for Grand Bahama took over the building several months ago, an assessment was carried out and mold was discovered throughout the building.
The government moved swiftly to solve the problem, and we had a company in here to sort the problem out from first floor all the way up to the fourth floor. We are satisfied that the work is just about complete, so all of the workers in this building should be rest assured that the problem was dealt with very swiftly through the Ministry of Housing and Environment and the Ministry of Grand Bahama.
According to Dr. Darville, the mold was found in the air conditioning system in the 4-story complex.
Apparently the studies clearly indicate that in the ducting systems there was evidence of mold, and it is not only exclusive to this building. I believe that there are other government facilities in Nassau and sometimes through the Family Island with issues. Some of the buildings are old. It also brings into question the type of preventative maintenance that we're doing on many of our structures. It really means now that I think we need to work a little bit more aggressively to ensure that the maintenance protocol for these coolers, chillers, and air-conditioned units are maintained. We are in the tropics, and if there's any sort of leak, we're going to develop mold.
Work has been ongoing for more than a month now, and it has impacted the work schedule of some employees.
With mold, the chemicals that you use, employees cannot be in the building. So usually there's a time period that you have to leave while it's going on. ZNS was a little bit more complicated because you usually leave the building around midnight. And so most of the work will have to be done in the night while the staff is out.
Dr. Darville says while there has been some slight respiratory complaints, these complaints, he notes, have not been of a serious nature.
As a physician, I've treated many patients with exposure to mold. Sometimes I think it's overreaction, but at the same time, we do not want employees to be working in an environment that can possibly cause respiratory complaints. But the problem here at this building is resolved.
Natalie Martinborough, ZNS Network News.
Switching gears now, police have released the name of the young man who was killed in a traffic mishap on Grenfell Avenue on Thursday. He is identified as 30-year-old Randy Russell of number 143 Scott Avenue. Now, according to police reports, officers were conducting a traffic stop in the area of Grenfell Avenue when they observed a gray 1993 Mercury Tracer, which was suspected of being stolen, and they attempted to stop the vehicle. The occupant reportedly tried to elude police and collided with a black Nissan Altima and struck Russell, who was on a bicycle. The driver of the Tracer was able to escape. Russell was taken to hospital where he died several hours later. Now, police are continuing investigations into this matter. And it has been 1 week since that fatal crash which claimed the life of a Grand Bahama man and seriously injured 2 others. Tonight, a relative of the critically injured victim is calling his fight to survive nothing short of a miracle. Joan Davis Rolle picks up the story from here.
He really didn't have no knowledge of what took place.
It was the deadly crash which occurred on February 2nd at the intersection of Ponciana Drive and East Atlantic Drive, Freeport, that claimed the life of 49-year-old Fritz Nautilus alias Freeze. Anthony Biscuit Basin was seriously injured in that accident, but his brother Wayne Basin says he was very little memory of that fateful day. Anthony Biscuit Basin was a passenger in the truck with Nautilus when they were involved in an accident with a 1999 maroon Buick. Eyewitnesses say both vehicles exploded on impact, Killing Nautilus is sent and an employee of the Freeport Container Port and the driver of the Buick to hospital. Basin was eventually airlifted to a Florida-based hospital where his brother Wayne says his condition was listed as critical.
When I left on Wednesday, he was in still critical care, but there was no major organs in the body that was damaged. So that was good. The doctor's reports at that time was he would heal, it will take some time. His present condition is that he have a fractured face on the right side of his cheek. 2 vertebrae in his neck is fractured. His pelvis is fractured. He also have 7 fractured ribs on his right side and 2 on his left side, one of which would puncture his lungs, causing his lungs to collapse.
He says doctors have indicated that it will be a long road to recovery for his brother, who is grateful to be alive.
Prior to leaving here, the medical team in the U.S. went ahead and removed all the tubes and entered new tubes inside of him, and they have him right now in stable but yet critical condition. And he was basically moved from the trauma center into the critical care area is where he's presently at this time. And for all medical intents, he is doing extremely well. He's alert, he's moving his hands. There's no signs of any unforeseen things that he will not be able to do in the future. And even just talking to him, he looks pretty good in spite of all he went through.
Wayne says despite the severity of the accident, his brother is a common day miracle. Was he burned in any way?
There's a little small burn, but nothing significant. No, all superficial. To God be the glory, to the angel that pulled him away from the fire. And even himself, he said when he gets home, so he would personally thank those persons. You know, we haven't heard everything or found out everything as to who may have helped him. But to those persons who have helped him, even me as the brother, I say thank you. I know my family, thank you. And Biscuit, as we normally would call him, will thank you personally when he gets back home, because we expect him to be back home shortly.
Meanwhile, as the Nautilus family prepare to bury their loved one, Basin says their prayers and thoughts are with them during their time of bereavement. Joan Davis Rolle, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.